How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today is Thursday the 19th and markets are closed today. The futures are still open, but honestly I'm not going to bother trading today because they're moving very slowly. So yeah, we've got the day off from trading today, the day off from Amazon today. So I've started the day just by watching some Al Brooks videos. So yeah, just getting some screen time, doing some studying, and I'll probably go over some of my recent trades today as well. So yeah, it's about 10 a.m. now. I'm gonna go to the gym pretty soon, get a big chest and shoulders day in. And it's a pretty nice day outside too, so I'll probably play basketball later on this afternoon, or I'll do something else for the video. But yeah, the previous couple of months, I was doing all right. I was mostly having like break even or barely profitable months, but June has not been going as well, unfortunately. I do know that historically, the summer months are a little bit tougher to trade in, and I've noticed that I've had a lot of break-even trades. So I think I've still been taking decent entries for the most part, but I think I've been maybe going for slightly too high of an R multiple, which causes me to hold for too long, and then trades come back to break-even. I'll go over some of my trades later, but yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle, but we're not going to get too discouraged. We're going to do some trade review. I'll probably do another lesson with my mentor soon. And yeah, we're just going to try and get better. Alright, we're down at the gym, and I just got done shopping at Aldi for some groceries I get pretty much every week. You know, you gotta get some good meats and protein after the gym. So I'm gonna go home and cook that. And I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do the rest of the day. I'll probably watch a few more Al Brooks videos, maybe go play some basketball. So, the best meal after the gym. Ground beef, rice with veggies and stuff like that. Yeah. I love turning on this PC, man. I'm so glad I got the fishbowl style case. Now it's time to eat. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Dave Ramsey show. I'm sure some of you are. But Dave Ramsey and the people on his show basically just teach basic financial literacy, you know, like make very safe investments, pay off your debt, and stay away from anything high risk. And recently in the past like couple months, I've seen a couple of videos of people like young guys calling the show saying, hey, I'm making a ton of money every month day trading, what should I do with it? And it's funny, I just saw another one today, so I clicked on it and listened to it. This 22-year-old says, I'm making 30K to 90K a month day trading with prop firms. And so the guy is explaining to them how prop firms work, and that he's not risking very much of his own money. He's just, the only risk is, you know, the fee you pay. And they're all skeptical about it, and they kind of seem like they don't really believe him, but it's just kind of funny that, you know, when people do call the show and say that they're succeeding at something that these people don't approve of, they don't really know what to say. They're kind of skeptical about it, which does kind of make sense. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. Alright, so here we are over on the PC on my TradeZella. I just want to go over some of my stats, show us some of my trades, just kind of explain some of the issues and problems I've been dealing with lately, and I want to explain why this whole drawdown kind of started. So if I go back a few months, in March I had a profitable month on my funded accounts, and I just want to compare the quality of these setups to sort of the quality of setups that I've been taking now. So I'm not going to break these down in detail, but yeah, here we have a very nice like wedge top sell. I want to go back to the previous trade. Yeah, very nice higher low on RTY. On this one I just got out for break even way too soon after that YM trade. I had a loss here. Yeah, I had a loss here on YM, a potential higher low that failed. And then right after that, I remember I caught a potential lower high on ES. That actually worked out really nicely. So these are the setups that I've learned. You know, these fit my strategy well. This is what Rake Trades teaches. And also Ron G has taught me a lot as well, just about how to execute and manage trades like this. And Al Brooks, of course. Now, this is how my June is going so far. And I have to warn you, it's a little ugly, as you can see. The first week was not bad. I had a pretty nice win on RTY. Can't remember if I showed this yet. Yeah, I can't remember if I showed this trade in a previous video yet, but this was like a textbook double bottom right after, or right off the prior day high on RTY. Obviously I could have held it better. And then yeah, that day I also took this trade. It was a really small loss, but it was an annoying loss on oil. And then I had a couple small losses to end the week. Now, I think the drawdown started after this trade, which was another RTY trade on Tuesday, June 10th. And as you can see, this setup looks similar to that previous RTY trade, but I didn't make any money on this. This was a break-even trade, which is just kind of ridiculous. Like when you see how far this went in my favor, it was a nice potential higher low right off the prior day high, which is this level here. I entered above this 5-minute bar, closing near its high. But the issue was I only started with 1 micro in this trade, which is just ridiculous in my opinion, because my risk was like literally $25. And to start off these accounts, I've been trying to risk like $50, $60, $70. And for some reason, I only took 1. I think maybe I thought the entry was not quite as clean, but it still is a valid entry. And I didn't have the confidence to take 2 or 3 contracts. So once I was up 2R, I couldn't scale out obviously because I only had 1 contract. And I didn't see a reason to close this trade up here. So I think I was aiming for at least 70s, maybe a little bit past that. So when we put in another potential higher low, I added on this bar here. So I add up here, which brings my average to just below here. So I raised my stop to just under this candle. I thought we were going to keep going here, and I was maybe going to take off the whole thing at like 75s or something, or maybe trim at 70s and try to hold a runner. But I'm not to the point yet where I can, add to my winners and execute well. Like I think adding to winners is kind of a more advanced thing. I know that Tom Hugard talks about that a lot in his book, Best Loser Wins. I don't know, this was pretty extended and it just didn't seem like an amazing idea to add here. I think taking profits around 2.5R generally fits my system well, but because I started out with only 1 contract, I was not happy with the profits up here. So instead of selling, I added and then it turned into a break-even trade. So I held through all of this, got a very nice move in my favor just for it to be a break-even trade, which frustrated me. And I think ever since then I've been taking slightly lower quality setups. Not all of them have been like bad or anything. I'm not going on tilt, but let's just go through a few of these. Yeah, even on this RTY trade, this wasn't a terrible entry, but it's not the most traditional, like, whatever, potential higher low entry that I look for. It kind of looked like we were starting a reversal, and so I went along here thinking RTY would potentially go all the way back up to the data highs, but it just went sideways after that, so I got out of this trade for break even. And yeah, this was a decent setup on oil here. The trade worked, but I didn't execute well. This was a simple 5-minute bull flag, and I went long right above this bar, so I go long here. I had to stop down around here. I don't think it would have got hit here because I had my stop placed right at the 40s. That'd be kind of annoying if it did hit. I don't know. The trade worked and it went right up to the prior high, or my level up here. After we made a new high of day here, it just failed to hold above it. I just decided to close this trade right below this bar. So I had very poor execution on this trade. I didn't let it go to my stop or my take profit. So let's go take a look at the next one. Then I took some bad entries on gold. This is an example of a forced trade. A very low conviction here. I kind of knew I should not have taken it, but gold basically pulled back to a trend line as well as the opening print. And I went long above this 5-minute bar, but this is not a very good signal bar. I think in this pullback here, the selling pressure is too strong to just be buying above a little bar like this. So I took a quick loss on that, which frustrated me because I know I usually wait for better setups than that. My next trade, I thought this was all right. There was a slight issue that had to do with the higher time frames on this trade. ES basically rejected the prior day low. We got below the opening print and then pushed back up into it, put in this 5-minute bear bar, and I went short below it, thinking we could have a nice move down to maybe below this low and potentially bounce off this trend line. But this one ended up stopping me out pretty quickly, and I think the issue was on the hourly time frame. We had already swept below the previous hourly bar's low. So this hourly bar is pretty good. It rejects off prior day low, closes bearish. The next one opens, and first it comes down, sweeps that bar's low, goes back up, and then puts in that 5-minute lower high, or potential lower high. And that's the trade that I take. But the fact that the hourly swept this low, that's not a very bearish sign. So it may have been better to stay away from this trade. So yeah, the multi-time frame analysis on this one was not really on my side. Again, I really think I should have stayed away from this trade as well, because I went long basically right into the pre-market highs. It was an okay like 5-minute bull flag on ES here, but if you just zoom out a little bit, I basically went long right into this high, which doesn't really make sense. So that was kind of another lower quality setup. And this was my most recent trade that I took on Wednesday. I don't really have an issue with this one. It was a nice potential higher low off a key level on oil here. I went long above this bar. It started to work and we just randomly dumped and it went down to my stop here. Now this was actually not news. It looks like news here, but I checked the economic calendar. We had news at 9:30 right around here on oil, which didn't really do that much, but this was just a random dump, which was pretty disappointing because I was really desperate for a win at this point, because I've been on a nasty losing streak, as you can see. Frustrating, man. Losing streaks are not fun. The good news is I still have a lot of drawdown left on my funded accounts. I'm only down like 200 on each one, and the total drawdown is like 2,000 each, so I'm not worried about losing those accounts anytime soon. I think I'm managing my risk pretty well, but it's definitely on me for choosing to take some low quality setups and then just executing poorly on good setups. So yeah. Wow, it is a hot one today. This is probably the hottest day of the year so far, but that's okay. I could use a little sweat. All right, let's get some shots up. Oh. So I'm actually working on getting out of Amazon, because lately that job has honestly become sort of unbearable at times. Because for whatever reason, last fall, I was getting about 170 to 180 stops a day, and it was usually always under 300 packages. And you know, that was a very reasonable amount of work for one day. But as of the past few months, it's been like 200 stops a day and well over 300 packages a day. And considering that it's not peak season, you know, it's not prime week or anything, that's just the normal workload on like an average week. It just seems very unreasonable and not sustainable for the long term. You know, I've been at that job for almost 2 years now, and you know, things are just kind of getting worse for me, and I just kind of realized it's not a long-term thing. So I'm trying to go down to part-time. So far they haven't really been letting me do that, but maybe they will eventually. So what I want to do is work there part-time, just like 2 or 3 days a week. And then I want to start doing more work for my dad's small business. My dad is a patent illustrator, and he used to do that working for a company called 3M. And well over 20 years ago, he quit and started doing it on his own. And so I've worked part-time for him over the years. And I told him I want to get out of Amazon and start doing more work for him. And the good thing about that is I can work from home and I can choose my own hours, and the pay is more, which is awesome. Unfortunately, the Amazon vlogs will eventually come to an end, but I plan on being there for a while still, for at least part-time. Right now I'm still full-time, so. But yeah, I definitely do not want to be stuck in Amazon for the long term. I always have so many in and out threes on this rim. Alright, it's now the next morning. I didn't record really anything else after basketball. I was really tired after working out like basically twice yesterday. So let's open up, think or swim. Let's look at the markets and let's see if we can find a trade today. All right, markets have been open for over an hour now and I haven't taken a trade. I haven't found anything super A+. We had a very strong rally in the pre-market and then we gave it all back. I just didn't really find a good short entry. I was considering this bull flag on gold here, but I don't like how this 5-minute bar basically failed to go higher. So I think I'm going to stay away from that setup. So I think that will be it for me this week. Yeah, kind of unfortunate. I didn't really have any solid trades this week, but it was a short holiday week and it's the summer now, so can't really expect price action to be great on weeks like this. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. I hope you guys can appreciate my transparency. I know that my time is coming in the markets eventually, but unfortunately right now I'm still struggling. So thank you all for sticking with me on this long journey. So yeah, hopefully we can end June on a more positive note, and hopefully we can get out of this drawdown. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.